Writing.
Welcome, true believers. Welcome, fans of Geekshow. It's time for another installment of The Last of Us Deep Dive. And guess what? It's not as depressing this time.
Like if there was an episode that was a filler episode, I think it's this one.
Oh,
Right?
I disagree with that. But
Like here, I don't think it's filler. I don't think it was
emotionally, this feels like a filler episode,
filler.
I would say.
And you need that break because I think the next episode is just going to.
Yep. Yeah, if you know the game, you know the next episode or the next episode or two are just going to be yikes.
Insert high-pitched scream.
And I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. See, like, all right, so your boy, thanks for letting me, first of all, thanks for letting me join.
Yeah, let's introduce real quick. We got Rebecca up here, we got Jay right here, and we got myself, also Tony.
Don't forget Simon, my God.
Your cat in the background. We're excited to be here. Jay's first time on The Last of Us Deep Dive. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Welcome to the sad talk.
Hey, yo, that's why I got the LED light. I don't know if people can see this, but I got.
Yeah, we'll have it up on YouTube eventually.
I got this creepy light. Yo, I look sad. And I look like listen. So I never played the game, and because I have a problem with the alive impaired. And by alive impaired I mean zombies or like anything with the.
You don't really mess with the zombie games.
They're people taken over by mushrooms.
Alive impaired. We'll call them that. Okay.
Alive impaired is perfectly accurate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that Craig Mazin of the show has said they are not zombies.
Baloney. That's like what's his face. That's like what's his face saying you need to pronounce GIF because he invented it.
We're not. We're not doing that.
Hard G. GIF.
All right.
I don't want to talk about this right now.
Yep. So I haven't seen it, but I haven't played the game, but I did catch up. And everyone, and my goodness, I wish I was there for the third episode, for the super sad episode, just so I could scream at the top of my lungs and laugh. And I wish y'all were in the room when we saw the scene that said 10 miles west of Boston. We lost our minds. For anybody that lives in the New England area, you know what's 10 miles west of Boston. I don't know, civilization. Definitely at least 50 dunks right there.
I liked Kat's tweet that she was like, "Oh, suddenly we got mountains in Newton now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm not. I've only been out to the East Coast once or twice in my life, and even when I saw that, I was like, "That is not what the East Coast looks like."
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's me. It's super easy to just suspend my beliefs. For an hour.
I will say though, it is if you're going to have people that are taken over by mushrooms or whatever, the alive impaired, the shroomed impaired or whatever, the shroomies. What can we call them? Shroomies? Is
I like
their
that
word?
shroomies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it would happen in a place like Boston because it is so nice to see Bostonians working together. If you remember how if you step on one of the fungi, like they feel it in the other town over?
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
All those little shroomies are very Boston strong. And that's I was like, yeah, this is them. This is them. But yeah, thank you just for letting me tag along. It's great.
Do people in Boston also not like the sun?
What was that, and why was that necessary?
That's the sound the monster makes.
That's the clicker noises. The shroomies make those noises.
No, that's a guy. That is a drunk guy outside of a Cumberland Farms, aka Cumbies, for all you non-New Englanders.
Cumbies. All these shroomies at Cumbies.
Yeah, that's a shroomy at Cumbies asking you for quarters.
Give me a hoagie from the Wawa.
Gosh, why? I am so localized now. Let me speak in my California accent. Let people know where I'm from.
There we go.
What's up? There we go. We back up in this
so
thing.
Confused. I have whiplash right now.
I mean, I could do my Utah accent.
Please,
because they have mountains in Newton.
That's right, mountains. Get up on the roof.
I hope you noticed I put a real emphasis on the T in mountain when I said it earlier.
Good for you.
I get really self-conscious about that in particular.
Did you throw a T in the word conscious?
She's conscious about her
I'm
mountains.
overcompensating. I'm overcorrecting with my T's in sentences.
Okay, let's get to the last.
Here we go. Yes.
The last of us.
That's right. On track here. Track. So episode 4, we end up with they just left Bill and Frank's in that little S10 that
this episode didn't have a separate opening, did it?
No,
the previous
I believe
episodes.
it just jumped right in. You didn't get any backstory about the fungus or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so they're cruising along what's left of the interstate from 10 miles outside of Boston over to headed west, basically. And they're on their quest to get Ellie to the west and find Tommy and keep going. So I will say, as far as action goes, there wasn't a whole lot of action this episode.
A lot of dialogue.
A lot of dialogue. A lot of stuff pulled directly from the video game.
Yep.
Like there's some stuff in the truck that's lifted directly from the video game, like finding the porn mag.
Oh, the magazine scene was fantastic.
That was pretty
Loved
cool.
it.
The tape also, like there's just a lot within the car in particular that was lifted directly from. And even too when they get to, because they arrive in Kansas City, which in the video game I think it's Pittsburgh.
I think it is Pittsburgh in the video game, yeah.
But they changed it to Kansas City just because of filming, like their filming locations. They said that it looked a lot more like Kansas City than like Pittsburgh. And it just makes a lot more sense, like traveling wise. It don't matter. But arriving into Kansas City and there's someone who comes out asking for help, and Ellie's like, "Oh my god, are we gonna help him?" And Joel's like, "Nope," and guns it. Yeah. And
so we end up there because they're just trying to go through the interstate through Kansas City, but all the cars have piled up on under the underpass.
Yeah, what's that about?
So
I think they did it
bad
on purpose.
Drivers, man.
Well, and I think in the video game they're called the Hunters. I don't know what they're going to be called in the TV show because we'll get to it, but they definitely did this thing with the Hunters where we're not dealing with just a regular villain that we can just shoot hundreds of and have no feelings about, right?
Yeah.
These are
they're humanizing.
These are people
Yep.
who also have loved ones and desires
and
lives. And
there's no video game canon fodder in this.
And it's what led to them creating a role for Melanie Linsky too, because as we get further on into the episode, we are introduced to like the leader of these hunters, and her name's Kathleen, played by Melanie Linsky, and it's a role that they wrote specifically with her in mind. Because Craig Mazin said that he is friends with her and has been friends with her for a long time.
Oh, cool.
And when he wrote the character, he had her in mind, but also gave her so many outs because he was like, I don't want you to feel like you're obligated to take this role, but I wrote it like with you in mind, and gave her like so many opportunities to be like, hey, no, thank you. But she took it and ran with it and was like super jazzed about it.
Interesting to see her character. Well, I mean, she's not based on any character from the video game, but they're introducing this character who knows she has a goal and she doesn't really care what it takes to get there. She's
a goal.
Interrogating that guy. Well, that's how we get introduced to her. She's interrogating that old man, and basically says, "Tell me where Henry is, or I'm going to shoot you." And you find out through their conversation that he's the doctor that delivered her in the before 4 times. She's known him her entire life, basically. And there's a distraction outside the kind of the end result of what happened with Ellie and Joel in the city when they get ambushed. At the end, we'll come back to that. But at the end of that, she goes back in and realizes that the doctor isn't going to help her, and just shoots him point blank right there. Just okay.
That was wild.
I'm done with you, and bam.
And what I like about her too, and we kind of see it later on in the episode with her interaction with Perry, played by the guy who voices Tommy in the video game, that she is in charge, but she doesn't necessarily exactly know what she's doing. It's not like she has a military background. It's not like she has a background in leading a resistance. She kind of doesn't really have a plan except vengeance.
Yeah.
But like, let's go back and talk about when they do have their first encounter with the hunters, because Joel tells Ellie to hide. Ellie goes to hide, and a hunter sneaks up on him, and Ellie, who has see this cat just
let Simon be.
Ellie, who has taken a gun. I know.
This is your own doing. Don't get mad when your cat walks in the middle of the shot. You just say, you just let it happen.
That's right.
I'm letting it happen. He's not in trouble. I just want him to know I'm annoyed. And so Ellie goes to hide. Joel holds down the fort as best he can, but Brian sneaks up on him, and Ellie, who has a gun, luckily gets out, shoots Brian, and the most not horrific, but just like fantastic choice to humanize these villains, because normally in the video game I'm just popping them off left and right.
Hey, bad guy.
You're a bad guy.
Yeah.
Your choices have consequences. And poor Brian, calling for his mom, can't walk. She shot him in just a way that she paralyzed him. And what I really love too is Joel's like, how did you learn to shoot like that? She says Fedra school. So I'm wondering if Fedra taught them where to shoot people too, because that's a very specific shot to paralyze someone.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. But and it's time for your weekly ding ding ding. Listen to the podcast, because they talk about Joel and Ellie's reactions in this instant. Hey, cat! Now my cats are fighting.
Nope, this is your fault.
I'm with Jay. I'm with Jay on this one.
Nope. You are going to deal with this on your own.
I am. Who else is going to help me? Nobody.
Nope.
All you animals. But in this instance in particular, they talk about how both Joel and Ellie are reacting, and normally what a normal happy healthy person should be doing is comforting one another. And so because Ellie has killed a guy, and for all Joel knows, it's her first time killing somebody, and so
he tries to be like, you didn't kill him, you wounded him, and I killed him,
right,
but she knows,
but he thinks, this is her first time hurting somebody.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, I've done it before. But instead of comforting one another, Joel feels mad that he had to be rescued, especially when he just went off on this whole thing about how he's a rescuer, like the Down Under mice. And Ellie is feeling instead, Ellie is feeling shame because she's about to cry, and she doesn't think that that's how she should be reacting. And my little heart is like, no, it's okay you should be helping each other feel better. But even Joel admits, he's like, I'm bad at this and bad at like trying to talk about it. And Ellie's like, yeah, you are.
Classic Ellie. Yeah, you are bad at this.
Yeah, you're not good at this.
Yeah. Shout out to earlier in the episode, we forgot, but shout out to Chef Boyardee. He makes good stuff.
Big ups to Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
If I found Chef Boyardee 20 years into the apocalypse, I would absolutely be eating it.
Yeah, I immediately was. I won't lie. Like, I looked down at my phone and I was just like, when's the last time I had Chef Boyardee? And I just was like, I just wanted to check and see if they had a sale. Like, I know it's not for me.
I love a Chef Boyardee. SpaghettiOs with meatballs.
Yes, but I'm spoiled, and I live in a very nice Italian heavy,
You
get real Italian food.
Yeah,
what would happen? What would happen if you brought home a can of Chef Boyardee?
I mean, my wife would probably just be like, all right.
Sounds good.
But maybe around her father, nah.
No.
Yeah, when she was eating that, I immediately thought to myself as well. I was like, Chef Boyardee ravioli sounds good.
Yeah, what's
Like,
the half-life? Like, so which will outlive us all? Like a
looked
Twinkie, a
this up.
cockroach, or Chef Boyardee?
So I found an article on this actually. They interviewed a fellow who does MRE reviews.
I love MREs.
Yeah, I do too. I think
What
they're
are
good, and a lot of
MREs?
people complain about
Meals
meals.
ready to eat.
Yeah, meals ready to eat.
It's a in case you're in a situation and the suppressing fire, you know, get a nice MRE. It's got military. It's full of carbs. Makes a good protein fart.
Anyways, so
But yeah, so the guy was saying,
sorry.
the guy was saying, he's like, yeah, canned food is basically good. I use the term loosely, good indefinitely, as long as the can isn't rusted or like misshapen or bulging. He said, if the can looks good, open it up. If it smells good, go ahead. Doesn't matter how old it is.
Huh. Okay. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a can of Chef Boyardee and bury it in the backyard for 20 years.
Might get rusty if you bury it in the dirt.
Okay, and put it in a
Yeah.
plastic container.
I mean,
Time capsule Chef Boyardee.
I drink Mountain Dews that are 4 or 5 years old, and they're fine.
It's
We
disgusting.
know. Goodness, good. Like we know.
Stop
Tony.
bragging,
Yes.
Tony.
Fine,
Fine age.
we get it. We get it.
2019 was a
We
good
Get
year
it,
for
you're
Pitch Black.
gross.
Delicious.
Ugh.
All right.
Trying
So
to talk about shroomies and you're over.
Right.
No, dude.
hey, come on now. You know, you just get a good vintage, and everything's great after that.
So Melanie Linsky's character doesn't really know how to like do whatever it is that she's doing, and
She's kind
Perry
of just blindly going
doing-
forward.
Yeah, and Perry, he's like, okay, what are we? Sorry, guys.
We can still hear you.
What? I know.
Yeah, you can still talk, even though the cat's
Perry's
in the way.
like, when are we gonna tell everybody about this? And takes her to a room where the ground is a bulging, like one of those
Yeah.
bad Chef Boyardee cans.
Yeah.
Or
and
when you
she's
eat
like,
too much Chef Boyardee.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And she's like, we will deal with this
One crisis at a time,
later."
basically.
And I'm like, I feel like this crisis is more
Should be.
important than the thing that you're doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Especially when it rumbles and they get scared enough to run out of the room and blockade the door.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that's where the bloaters live in.
Yep,
You know, there's just
for sure.
there's just a whole bunch of shroomies down there, and we're gonna get our first.
We lost her. What happened? She muted herself.
Did the cat mute herself?
Someone muted her.
Oh my goodness. It's the cats.
I can't unmute her. It says she has to unmute herself.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There
Oh
we
my
go.
goodness.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Jiminy Crimbus, you guys.
Yeah, so
You're doing great.
yeah, you're doing just fine. So that was right near the end of the episode.
that.
After that, they go. Well, I guess it was in that same kind of scene. They go looking for Henry,
Yeah,
and they stumble upon this room that
This
has a bunch of
room
empty cans.
that they've obviously been like staying in, and
Yeah.
they find a drawing of two superheroes flying together. The other thing we haven't even talked about is the introduction of the pun book.
Yes.
The pun book.
I figured that would be a running gag. No pun intended, but it's like
Yeah.
that was cool to see it. Like for a person that's not emotionally invested, because I have no context going in. My wife and I are going in this blind. I was like, yeah, I already like this part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only even in the game, Ellie and the pun book are basically the only source of levity
Entertainment.
in the entire game, and it seems like it's going to be that way for the show too. So
Really,
What?
the
Yeah.
only source of entertainment. I mean, did
Yeah.
they? Not, they found a magazine earlier. I'm just
no,
saying.
not
Well, she
entertainment,
threw it out
but
the
the
car.
only
She threw it out the car.
the only comic relief
Oh,
in-
okay.
in the entire
Yeah.
game, basically, and
Yeah.
and in the book so far, it seems. So
But also, we're seeing the relationship develop between Ellie and Joel.
Yes.
And
That's
we get a
nice.
little chuckle out of him.
Yep. Now, which joke was it that made him chuckle?
The diarrhea joke.
The best joke. Yeah.
Gross. It runs in your jeans.
Loved it.
It was a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's an old joke because
It's an oldie.
I told someone that at work, and they knew the answer before I could get to it. And I was like,
And they
"Oh, you
booed
watched
you.
you watched Last of Us 2?" And he's like, "No,
They're
that's
like,
an old joke."
Yeah.
I just know a lot of diarrhea jokes.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang it!
They booed you out. They kicked you out of the. Never come back.
They did, yeah. But I came back. I went back today.
Get
anyway.
out.
They can't stop me.
They can't stop me.
I'm coming in with my jokes. They can't do anything about
I
it.
just love that. I imagine you showing up to work like, "Hey, you guys can't stop me.
You guys want to hear some diarrhea jokes?
I got,
Sure,
I got
why not?
some.
At this point, why not?
Yeah,
And-
Joel, he's letting loose. He's chuckling.
Yep.
He's doing a little chuckle, and it's established that he can't hear so well out of his right ear.
Yes,
Okay.
that's an important piece to know for, as the series goes on. He
So
can't
he-
hear very well out of his right side.
Sprinkles glass all over the room that they've decided to camp in, so
Yeah.
he can hear anybody who intrudes. But so while he falls asleep on his right side, he wakes up on his left side, meaning he didn't hear the intruders in the room, and we get our introduction to Henry and Sam.
Yep.
I'm not ready.
Oh,
Because Henry and Sam was the first point in the game where I was like, oh no, what do you mean it gets sadder?
yeah.
Nah, man, I can't do it. For
It
real.
was Henry and Sam when they introduced Henry and Sam, it's like, okay, there are some good people still in
Don't
this
get used
Yeah.
to it.
post-apocalyptic world.
So okay, so this is like, all right. So I got.
So this is from the game. Well, they might change this. We don't know, but that's how it was in the game.
Hope so.
See, I wish I had context, but everybody's telling me it's actually good that you don't. But it's just, it's a.
I think
Either
it's
way, I'm
good.
excited. I'm excited.
I am keep having no context because
Yeah.
I kind of wish
That's
I had
my
no
that's my mantra.
It's old J no context Whitaker.
Jay
Right.
Whitaker, keep having no context.
That's right. Just out here struggling.
What's going
I don't
on?
know
I
what's
have
going
no
on.
context.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm having a good time.
Funny. So yeah, that's where the
so-
episode basically ends. Is they're now at gunpoint with Sam and Henry, and so
Two brothers.
two brothers.
I didn't even. I'll be honest. I didn't even notice there was another person. I just
They
saw
they
one.
haven't shown. We only know
Okay.
that because of the
Oh,
game.
okay. Because I was
Yeah,
like, am I tripping or because I like.
Yeah, so
I was drinking a lot when I watched this episode, so it's
yeah, you're good. Henry and Sam are brothers. Henry is the older one, and Sam is the child. And
Oh no. Yeah.
Henry
Okay.
will do anything for Sam. Yeah.
Don't give away too much.
I'm
He wants to go.
not.
You're going to give him context, Rebecca. He doesn't want that.
sorry.
I don't want no.
Well,
No.
I'm just super happy that HBO is releasing the episode early, so we
Yes.
can just be so sad rolling into Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, much better, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the new episode.
Happy Sam and Henry have a good time together.
The new episode is dropping on Friday this week. That's another reason also why we tried to put this one out as early as we could. Scheduling
Yeah.
was rough, so you're only getting it a day early, but it's better than getting it a day late. So
That's right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. You want some context? We don't have it.
We don't believe in that here. Come
Yeah.
on.
You
You're
want
welcome.
context? You go somewhere else.
Yeah, you go somewhere else. What? You think this is a vlog?
You think this is the context store? What do I look like? A context doctor? Get
Right.
out of here.
1-800-context.com.
Just head over to the Context Cafe if you want some of that. We don't got any of that here.
This is not. This is good content.
You know it. All right, that wraps it up for this episode.
Hey, I got. Can I give?
Absolutely. What do you got?
Since we brought up the adult magazine earlier, it got me thinking. Like, because we know we're all human beings, and you think there's like shroomy media out there. You know what I mean,
Dude.
It's like,
Rule 34.
Yeah.
Rule 34 says
Okay.
there's absolutely some of whatever you're looking for
I think
online.
you think somebody out there is just like
The
Yo,
Last
man,
of Us.
them shroomies could get it. You know?
100%. I
All
would
right.
bet money on it. And I bet
know-
you wouldn't even have to look that hard.
You know what?
Are you doing it now, Jay? I'll do it now.
Good
Oh,
for
no.
you. No, I'm not doing. No, we're not doing that.
I'll do
We're not doing it. We got to keep it PG-13.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna show you guys anything.
Oh, good.
All right. We'll just do a watch. We'll watch Rebecca react. Is your browser on? Like, are you in incognito mode?
Better put it on incognito mode.
This is sad. I don't like any of this.
What were you expecting?
What? They made Shroomy loving sad.
What? There's
No.
so much, you guys.
I
Oh,
told you.
Are you for real?
I told you.
Ugh.
She's still scrolling.
Oh.
You can stop.
Yeah.
Just close out. Just close out.
The point has been proven. We don't
Yeah.
need any more.
You know what it is? The key is you don't look for too long or you're like, oh, I'm into it.
Gosh, I kind of like this.
Yeah, you're like, it's not so bad.
Really messing up my algorithm.
Love is love is love is love is love is love.
Google's like, something else to advertise to her.
Watching VR.
No.
Oh my
what? There's
We should probably stop right now.
Yeah,
Thanks for tuning into this episode, this deep dive of The Last of Us episode 4.
I hate this.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we will be back next week to talk about episode 5. Until then, bye-bye.
clear your browser.
Fighting.